is really special. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, 2018 Walter Payton Man of the Year. He also has strong takes on sushi and airports, and he is the heir to the great Firestorm DVD fortune. He announced his retirement with a hell of a post on social media, raising a cup. That was his walk-off, so we will all do the same to our guest. Welcome to the breakfast table, Chris Long. Cheers to you. Hey. What is up, man?
That was beer.
Yes, we love it here. Chris, hold on. You announced your retirement in May after 11 prolific seasons. However, through the offseason, you get everybody saying, hey, you're going to come back, and you come back. You were even asked if the Eagles have a bunch of injuries on the D-line, would you return? Would you end your retirement? This was your response. I believe you went on Twitter.com and said, I mean, maybe, but that's like asking your ex to be on call if your wife kicks the bucket. Exes move on, player. It's an amazing tweet. You're the best. How are you feeling right now with retirement, with football, with everything?
I love being retired. I do. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I absolutely love football. I love Sundays, but I got to a point where I wasn't enjoying Monday through Saturday at all. And the situation wasn't perfect for me at 34 in Philly. I've had a lot of good years, and I said I always wanted to walk away from the game, not have the game walk away from me. So I feel good about that. Certainly I miss it sometimes. I miss my teammates, but I get my fix. I call them, and I hear them complaining about camp and joint practices, and I feel just fine. I'm at Red Rocks watching concerts. I'm in Montana on the dock in Flathead Lake. And I'm hanging out with you guys.
That's great.
Good life.
And one of the cool deals you did is this past month, you were taking over Jimmy Traina's column at Sports Illustrated. And you wrote a column that made some waves in the NFL world because it was a theory. It was a far-reaching theory, but having real relationships with these guys, I wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
You proposed a scenario in which Tom Brady is playing elsewhere next season. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory, maybe it's a hypothetical. Take us through this scenario where you could see playing out.
Well, I went a little True Detective. I went a little West Cole.
It's a flat circle.
With the beer cans. You know, well, it's funny when Tom sold his $40 million house. It probably wasn't listed on Zillow, but Tom sold his house. You know, there was the wrinkle in essentially what is a one-year deal, and people freak out as they do on the internet. So I think it's about 95% New England and 5% the field. But if we're taking the field, my point was the only opportunity that I see for Tom to leave, and the only thing that Tom might want to do would be go back to the Bay. He grew up in the Bay as a Niners fan in 1990 as a teenager. There's a little joke there. But you know, I think that if Jimmy G has a bad year, there is an out for them to get rid of Jimmy. And you know, with all the turmoil every year, or perceived turmoil in New England, a lot of uncertainty. Gronk's gone. You got some good wide receivers, but DT's coming off an Achilles.
Right.
Josh Gordon reinstated. I think they're going to be really good. Personally, I think they'll be north of 12-4 and be deep in the playoffs. But if you want to take the field, I think it's the Niners or bust.
I love it.
You're pretty good at this, TV analyst.
Yeah, you sure you don't want to just stay here?
Wow. We're going to put you to another test here. Antonio Brown, we've been talking about this all day. It's dragging out. It's drama. What's your take?
Antonio Brown, it's nice to be good enough to do stuff like this. You know what I mean? I was never a player that could pull something like that off, but we all know different players have different rules that you tolerate.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else in that building, they're probably moving on. But they're on the hook, and they need him to perform for them to be successful this season. So I think as a teammate, listen, in an underrated twist, it kind of gives you a little cover. You know, if something's going on with you, they're not going to be paying attention. If you have a bad practice, they're not going to pay attention. Listen, if he shows up week one and he's great, nobody's going to remember this. It just puts even more onus on him to be great week one.
What if you're in that locker room, though? I mean, are you like, we're busting our butts out here, man. We're trying to start a new season. We got this coach that's trying to change the whole philosophy. We need you in here, dude.
Yeah.
Would you say something? Would you tweet something? How would you handle it?
I would handle it. You know, first I would get to know my teammate because it's really important to build those relationships. So the first conversation I'm going to have with AB isn't going to be, you know, hey, man, what's up with the helmet? Hopefully by now I know him, and I might know really why he's doing this. Because it could be the helmet, it could be a host of other things. So I think getting to know your teammates, and again, people in that locker room probably know more about this issue than we do, and anybody in the media. So I think understanding, empathy, but then, hey man, we really need you to perform. And also take it with a grain of salt, because I'm not you. You're a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
You know, last 7-8 years of his career, he's been astronomically great. So as long as you show up and play week one and we get this handled, great. But it's his safety, you know, so you would think the, you know, the motivation would be there.
Now, one of our more frequent guests is Chase Winovich.
and he's been having one hell of a preseason. He's racked up 2.5 sacks. He's been balling out, and you took notice to it.
Yeah, he's worked hard for those sacks.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get into it.
Now let's talk about this though, because
Go to the tweet.
Let's bring up the tweet here.
Hard worker, isn't
and
he?
this is what you said. We love deceptively fast gym rats with high motors.
All right, so look at the
who
tweet. I
play
know
through
it's
the whistle.
preseason.
And are real students of the game. But here it is. I know it's just preseason, but let the coded compliments fly. You know
Let
what
them
I'm saying?
fly.
So
Let him fly.
what does having that type of coded compliment mean to a guy like that? I know you've heard.
Listen, when you're a white edge rusher, I mean, people don't expect too much of you.
Sure.
They
You
expect,
said white, not wide.
Yeah,
Right.
I said a white edge rusher,
Okay.
Caucasian, who looks like this.
Changed a lot.
I've heard them all. Yeah, it's a tattoo to cover that up. So, yeah, I mean, you get the codes all the time. I think, what's funny for me is when I was young in my career and coming in, it was Aaron Campman, Patrick Kearney.
Yeah.
And I was compared to those guys,
Sure.
and nobody else. And then now it's Bosa and Bosa.
That's
are the
it.
two white benchmarks. So who's going to be next? I got excited this year because Mayock and some people.
Here we go.
They compared me to Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell, all right.
Sure,
He
yeah.
does not look like me.
No,
Not at all. Not at all.
I thought that was pretty cool. That
You
means
liked
I
it.
might, we might be breaking some trends.
Maybe.
here.
Do you have a favorite coded compliment in the meantime? Is it like Gym Rat, Coach's Son?
Coach's Son is a big one.
High
Low
motor.
pad level, high motor.
I mean, high motor.
Student
I have
of
the
the game.
tattoo on my arm. So,
You have a high motor tattoo?
Yeah, it says high motor. It was,
Oh,
yeah?
This is when I was young and a little bit crazier. I
The
got that
Rams years?
tattoo. Yeah, the Rams years, where we were all a little bit crazy in that D-line room. Shout out to William Hayes, Robert
Sure,
Quinn,
man.
Langford, Eugene Sims. But, I got the tattoo to kind of poke fun at it, and then it kind of became a tag.
Yeah.
So I've kind of embraced it. People are going to think what they think, and as long as we're mixing up the comparisons, I think we're good.
Sure. We're almost out of time. This segment's going deceptively fast.
Yeah,
The sneaky fast segment, right?
you're right about that.
Andrew Luck, you didn't realize this. He's actually a good athlete.
Oh, wow. Look at
It's actually
that.
pretty fast. All right, you're being featured in the new Gillette campaign,
Nice.
and it's every hero sweats. Some never show it.
Yep.
Now that's celebrating your on the field and off the field heroics, and you've been one of the most socially influential athletes of your generation. Very outspoken about things that really matter, and it's not just being outspoken. You actually go out there and you're in the field trying to create change with your foundation, the Chris Long Foundation, and change not just in your city, not just where you play, not just in the country, but around the world. Tell us a little bit more about your role with the Gillette campaign.
Well, I like the Gillette deodorant campaign. Every hero sweats, and the whole cool thing about that is whoever your role model is, presumably a lot of people like me or other football players, like we have complicated lives. We have things that we care about. We're vulnerable. We are not just football players. And what I thought was cool about this ad and kind of shedding light on like what the modern man's about is they did it at the Boys and Girls Club in Charlottesville. We shot it there, which is cool because we do a lot of work there. And then also at UVA where I had my beginnings, and it was actually cool because we shot the commercial the day before they demoed U-Haul, which is the old historic basketball arena that Ralph Sampson and everybody played
that's
in
awesome.
the 80s. So I got the last little look at that as we were filming. And it's just a cool ad to be a part of. And like you mentioned, it sheds light on the work we do off the field. For us water boys, we've given over 200,000 people clean water, 60-something wells. We've done educational equity work. We work with our military. So these are things that I'm just one guy. The league is full of guys like that.
Yep.
Obviously, we got some credit, and that's great. But Gillette is doing a great job of highlighting that.
That's awesome stuff, man. Well, listen, we appreciate you joining us. Kyle,
What?
Thanks for having me.
the intro was amazing because this is truly a Renaissance man, and we appreciate what you did on the field, but more importantly, off the field in that shirt.
That
shirt's funny. The shirt's fire.
Oh, baby. Sheed.
You're wearing a Rasheed Wallace Blazers t-shirt.
So
It's fantastic.
good,
He drives a Bronco, allegedly. And
Listen,
I do too.
hey,
That's a kindred
Yeah.
spirit. Dude.
and you were kind of like Rasheed Wallace when you first got in the league, a little bit crazy.
don't lie.
Yeah, look, man. I'm still a little nuts.
I like it.
We love having you here. Come back anytime.